What's poppin', what's poppin', what's poppin'? It's your boy OG Pop. We back with another one. Lately, we've been all into the, hip hop beef and the 50 Cents, Big Meech mess, the Who is Tammy Cohen's and, DJ Academics was talking about him for a second. But this week and today, we will be talking about something a lot deeper. We're going to be talking about racketeering, corruption, injustice, wrongful convictions. When we talk about an officer, ex-police officer, Chicago ex-police officer by the name of Reynoldo Guevara. Reason that made me pick this topic today was Big Meech and that whole era, BMF, gave me the inspiration to go touch back on the 90s. Anybody who's been involved with me and has followed my career knows that I was away and on vacation for 20 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections. During that time, I got to meet a lot of guys, their stories, guys that were innocent, guys that were there for no reason, just victims of our environments and the corruption that went on through the city of Chicago. This officer here, or ex-officer here, that I'm talking about was never charged, was never reprimanded, was never arrested. But let me give you some fact checks. Fact checks, y'all. Chicago Police Detective Guevara fact sheet. Disgraced Chicago Police Department Detective Reynoldo Guevara is accused of framing more than 70 people for murder in the Humboldt Park neighborhood of Chicago. Guevara was active in the Chicago Police Department from 1976 until his retirement in 2005. As of today, at least 39 men and women framed for murder by Guevara have had their convictions thrown out. In total, Guevara's victims served more than 850 years in prisons for crimes they never even committed. The city of Chicago has long had notice of Guevara's misconduct, but has done nothing. Humboldt Park residents for years made public that Guevara had obtained convictions by torturing suspects or witnesses, fabricating evidence, taking and paying bribes, manipulating witnesses. 30 formal complaints were filed to the city during and after Guevara's term as an officer and detective, detailing similar allegations of torture and misconduct. In court proceedings, Guevara had pled the Fifth Amendment not to incriminate himself on multiple occasions in response to questions about his work with the Chicago Police Department. The city and the Chicago Police Department never disciplined Guevara for any of his misconduct. Guevara continues to collect more than $80,000 a year for his city police pension. Let me give you a couple of more facts before I, start talking about this a little bit, in my opinion. Local, state, and federal officials have widely recognized Guevara's corruption. A 2001 FBI transcript documents an FBI informant explaining Guevara's policy was to catch a person with drugs or guns, but let them buy their way out of trouble. Guevara accepted bribes to change positive or negative identifications during lineups for murder cases. In 2013, the city of Chicago hired the global law firm Sidney Austin to investigate claims of Guevara's corruption. A $1.9 million tax-funded investigation concluded that Guevara had likely framed innocent people. In 2017, Cook County Judge James Obish found that Guevara has told bald-faced lies during his court proceedings and testimony, and had eliminated any possibility of being considered a credible witness in any proceedings. 2022, Cook County judge, excuse me, in 2022, Cook County State's Attorney, even in cases where we still have questions about guilt, where we are not affirming actual innocence, the taint of Guevara's is such that we cannot stand behind them any further. In 2022, the Illinois Appellate Court called defendant Guevara a managing blight on the Chicago Police Department and the judicial system. I know things have updated as far as numbers on this thing. It said as of, I don't know what's the date that I downloaded this from, but it says here that at least 39 men have been released. Now, this touches a little bit close to me now because I grew up in that era. Not only did I grow up in that era and we'd have cops in Humboldt pulling up on us, take us in the alley, beat us down, and tell us to get them a pistol or they were going to keep beating us down or lock us up with something worse. I experienced them times. I didn't go to prison for being innocent. You know, I got in trouble and I went and did my bid. But during my bid, I ran into some of these innocent guys and couldn't even fathom doing 20 years, 10 years, 25 years for murder charges, you know what I'm saying, for being framed. There's at least 3 people that I know that were arrested, man, and God bless their families as they, you know, a lot of these guys even lost their families. I know guys lost their mom, their kids, their relationships. Guevara literally took these guys' souls, man, took the love and life from some of these guys' families and women. There were women he put on death row. How Guevara was never charged, how he was able to retire and kick back and go live in Texas where he currently resides at is just crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? How this guy's still getting cases to this day, and all he does is when he's called for his testimony, I plead the fifth. And the case, and they're exonerated. But what does that do after you serve 25 years, after you've lost it all? Some of these guys lost their sanities, lost, their innocence. You know what I'm saying? They had to come out here, start all over, get it together, and figure it out. And they were robbed of their whole life. Salute to DJ, salute to Edwin, salute to um, Jose, you know what I'm saying, Pistol Pete, and the rest of it's not 30, what did they say, 39 men and women. No, my buddy got out. Well, he didn't get out. He served his time. But just last year, he was the 54th person exonerated, you know what I'm saying, for Guevara's misconduct and tactics and hiding evidence and threatening witnesses.
I feel like I'm still doing time. And I'm looking to make this right.
The city defends Guevara's misconduct in court, denying victims justice and wasting tens of millions of tax dollars. The city's staunch defense of Guevara's misconduct in court has cost Chicago's taxpayers more than $76 million in jury verdicts, settlements, and payments to private law firms that defend Guevara. To date, Chicago has paid over $23 million to outside firms to defend Guevara in civil lawsuits. Today, Chicago spends more than $300,000 each month on outside lawyers to defend Guevara in lawsuits. The cities spare no expense strategy of defending delays and denies justice for the families and communities that Guevara victimized. In addition, the city's strategy is poor risk management. I agree. A 2022 analysis by the Chicago Inspector stemming from legal claims against Guevara and its officers. Municipal finances are strained when taxpayer money is wasted fighting cases and extreme police misconduct, wrongful convictions. Cases already have cost the city's taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars. The city can pay 500 plus million fighting Guevara's cases at all costs in court, or it can compensate Guevara's victims, recognize the harm caused, and save hundreds of millions in taxpayer money by doing so. So pretty much, they're still taking no, responsibility. They're letting that man take off with his pension. I guess it's a statute of limitation on anything that they can charge him on. But he was definitely a disgrace to the city of Chicago. Why didn't he ever talk? Why didn't he ever open his mouth? Why is it that every time that man go on the stand, he pleads a fit? Number one is because he would incriminate himself. Number two, not only would he incriminate himself, but who else would he be incriminating? How many other officers in the Humboldt Park district of Chicago at that time and era will also go to jail? And not only that, how many more innocent families would have their loved ones released from prison if the truth would come to light? How many more millions and millions and millions of dollars would the Chicago Police Department and the city of Chicago have to spend on the recklessness of, these monsters that they had running the streets and working for the city of Chicago and the Chicago Police Department in the 1990s? It's your boy OG Pop, man. I just thought I'd bring this to light. Salute to everybody who's getting on with their life and suffered, the torture and the malice and the evilness and the cruelness that Guevara, Reynoldo Guevara, detective, ex-detective, Humboldt Park detective, Reynoldo Guevara, did to you and your family. Salute to all them guys, man. Salute to the families of everybody who stood by them guys. And power to the people, man. I hope we, our system changes. I hope we never get to see, an officer get away with torture and racketeering and extortion and who knows what else Guevara and his crew were into. Some boy POP, man. I'm out.